Okay, so we're just doing that again just because my video went a bit crazy. So we're going to look at multiplying, multiplying the base and the top of the fraction. So when we multiply, we put the fraction over 1, and we're going to do, oh my gosh, my pen, we're going to do the top times the top, and then we're going to do the bottom times the bottom. So what this means is we're going to have 3 times 3, which is 9, over 4 times 1, which is 4. And that's all we're going to focus on for the minute. There is a next step, but we're going to do that another time. So I'd like you to have a go at this one. Press pause, and then once you've done it, press play, and I'll talk you through to check your answer. So what we need to do is put the 2 over 1, and then we're going to do 3 times 2 is 6, and 5 times 1 is 5. And that is our basic multiplying top times the top over the bottom times the bottom. Okay, so we're going to move on to question 3, and in this one we're going to do something called simplifying, and simplifying is when we divide the top and the bottom number by the same thing. So in this case, 2 can divide by 2 and 6 can divide by 2. So we're going to go 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. Now if you're not sure how to work that out, one way to do it is to draw it and figure out how many groups there are. The other thing to do is to have a look at your times tables. 1 group, 1, 2, 3 groups. So first thing that you need to figure out for this set of questions is what times tables equal 9 and 12 and 9 and 18. So if you look at your times table chart, you might see that 9 and 12 both pop up in the 3s, and 9 and 18 also both pop up in the 3s, but they also pop up in the 6s, and they also pop up in the 9s. So we want to choose the biggest one to divide by. So we're going to choose 9 for this one. So what I'd like you to practice is dividing the top and the bottom by this number. Press pause and then press play when you're ready, and I'll check that you got the right answer. We should have gotten 3 over 4 and 1 over 2. So next step is we're going to add some fractions, and the really important thing about this adding is that the bases are the same, and that's because they're like fractions. So that's saying we're adding same size pieces. So what we're going to do is just add the tops. 5 over 13. That's all. And what this is saying to us is that I had 13ths, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And initially I had 3 pieces, 1, 2, 3. Then I got 2 more pieces, so in total I have 5 pieces. So I'd like you to give this one a go, adding just the tops, leaving the bottom the same. And then once you're done, you should see that you get 12 over 16. We can then do our simplifying, where we can divide both of those numbers by 4, so that 12 divided by 4 becomes 3, and 16 divided by 4 becomes 4. Okay, so we're going to move on to adding our fractions, but this time the bases are not the same. And so what we need to do is have a look at the bottom, landed on my keyboard, and we need to pick a number that they both equal. So I'm going to write out some 4 times tables, and I'm going to write out some 2 times tables. And hopefully you can see that 4 is in both those times tables. 4 times 1 equals 4, and 2 times 2 equals 4. So what we need to do is on this side, we need to times this by 1. On this side, we need to times it by 2. What we do on the bottom, we're also going to do on the top. So everything on the left-hand side has now times by 1, and everything on the right-hand side is going to times by 2. So then what we need to do is actually work out this multiplying. 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 times 2 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. What this is going to allow us to do is then have the same bases. And so now, just like before,